All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through live order flow examples in Bookmap. So whatever market you guys want to look at, we will punch it in and bring up the ticker or the symbol. Let me know. Typically, we start with the S&P E-mini and just stay there. Sometimes jump over to NASDAQ and gold or others. Anyway. Why are we doing this? We're going through order flow. Why order flow? Because order flow can show you the participants' activity in the auction process. The only way that other people can participate in the markets is via their orders. It's not like the pits back in the day where there's all sorts of shouting back and forth to get filled. It's not like that. It's all done with orders. Therefore, those pit traders had an edge by understanding the participants there, who really wanted in, who really wanted to buy, who had big positions, who were some of the bigger players, etc. We're doing the same thing in here, but we're doing it digitally, and we have many tools in here to be able to see some of those participants, like iceberg transactions or smaller players getting stopped out with stop runs and other order flow phenomena that we can see. And that is the edge using Bookmap. All right. A few different things. Bruce's pilot program, again, this will change the name here very shortly. But the program will not change at all. It's just going to, well, it will change for the better, but the core foundation of it is the same. Traders understand many setups, but they don't know how to build an edge, and that's what we combat here, is to build an edge for yourself. Provide a process so you know how to do that. If you're interested in signing up, I have the link in here. I'll put it into the chat. Let's see. The Blue Jacket competition. So we're in the final week here. So if you guys still are interested in this, you can win over $600 subscription value. Just take a screenshot of Bookmap, mark up your chart, and then post it on X, Instagram, or LinkedIn with free or the hashtag free blue jacket, and you're entered just like that. The best content wins. All right, so you know, there's no limit to how many you can throw in there. You can stuff the ballot box. So anyway, we need to take a look at it all and decide who has the best content. All right, Bookmap Academy. We have that every Thursday, but I'm going over this because it's the same process we do in these webinars. Journaling to build your playbook. This is also a part of the pilot program, and we stay consistent with it here. Number one, what are we looking for? Impetus. What's moving the market? We need to understand that. This is the biggest driver, is trying to understand what's moving the market. Like, is it news? Is it geopolitical? Is it large technical areas, or all of the above? So we want to understand that, though. Then we're going to look at our key levels on the higher time frame and zoom into those areas and start to understand what is the order flow, what are the participants doing around those key levels, and we start to then, number three, build out our scenarios and strategies. What are we looking for at those key higher time frame levels? That's what we want to understand, and then we can start to map out what are some of the scenarios with the price action, what might happen in some of those areas. Then finally, we look for our strategy or our setup, number four here. And we want to select the proper one for the opportunity based on 1, 2, and 3 above here. It is our checklist here. We know our setup already. We're prepared for it. And you grade it and you determine your sizing. Then you wait for your order flow to give you the moment here to best execute, and then also how to manage your trade. All right, so that's the process we're going to go through. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in and let me know if you have any questions. We'll take a look here at the S&P E-mini, and actually let's zoom out, and I'm going to take the point of control. Interesting point of control. Wow. Okay. Well, that's the cash open up there, but anyway, I'm going to take it off, and it's probably see it migrate down to here in a few minutes, building a lot of volume down here. All right. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. And first off, what's driving the markets? Okay, the fundamentals. Well, the news has been good. There's earnings. We've seen some pretty amazing gaps to the upside here, one after another. But let's just zoom in here, or let's take a look at our higher time frame, our daily over here. Just put this into perspective. And we can zoom out now in Bookmap though, and I'll show you that. You see the massive gap yesterday, and then you can see the gap here today on the 15-minute chart and a little bit on the hourly here, and the move back down. We've just filled that gap not too long ago, and now we're just kind of basing. Okay, anyway, we'll come back into the scenarios in here in just a minute. Just going through the higher time frames and what's going on. We also have FOMC tomorrow. That's going to be huge, right? So it looks like the market is already pricing in the rate cut, but we will have to see about that. I'm not so sure about that, anyway, there's been a lot of speculation, as you can see here in the price chart. And I want to talk about something else today with our higher time frame levels, looking at some of these areas in here. And we've been talking about the last few sessions. I think it's a good thread we've been on, talking about ranges and breaking of ranges and price expansion. And that's what's happening here on the higher time frame, very, very simply, right? So like yesterday, for example, well, you can see the price action in here, but we were bullish. On the hourly, it doesn't look so great, but we were bullish because of the move up. We are away from this whole area in here. If we look on the daily in here, okay, so that's you see the close here on Friday. And it closed above all of that. That is bullish. Okay, so we are still looking for the price discovery. We are outside of that range. Now, it might have failed outside of this range and then come back in. Well, this one didn't, and we see it very clearly. Now, I want to go through this, and this is for Shark and others that are in the pilot program, starting to look into the next setup, which is the low volume pullback. And I'll detail out why we're going through the trendline break and accumulation first, and then we'll get into the next setup. But these range breaks, okay, look at this range in here. Okay, look at this range down here on the daily. Okay, this is a pretty big range back and forth here, but we broke out of it. Okay, and came back up into established another range up here. We broke out of that, and now we're establishing potentially a new range up in here. All right, so for those of you looking at market profile, it's all the same stuff. Maybe you're looking at Wyckoff, maybe you're looking at Crable. Does not matter. This is all the same stuff. We're looking at price action within a range and then a break of that range and discovery to new levels. We will see this, and I want to cover this on the daily. Now I'm going to jump over to Bookmap, and I'm going to show you the antithesis of that. And let's zoom in. All right, and we can look at, here's current price action in the ES. Okay, we are in a range here. All right, so this is our current range in here. Okay, on this time frame. And now we are looking for what the order flow is in here, and if we're going to break this range. So right now I see some buyers coming in. Okay, is it enough? I don't know. I think we might get into this 69.15 in here, but I'm not sure it will hold. We'll see. But yeah, I'm looking for it to test into this high liquidity here at 69.15. Right, so let's see if we get that. Not yet. We're back in the range here, and here we go for another retest here. Let's see. Okay, we need buyers right here, and let's see if we can get that move up into here. If not, and we trade into the high liquidity down here at 12.5, we might break that. Okay, we're getting pretty close to get to breaking here. Anyway, wanted to show it in real time, but we might have to go back and take a look at maybe a smaller example on a smaller time frame. I mean, clearly you can see it here, the break, but let's take a look here. Okay, so here we just traded down here, okay, and now we're back in the middle of the range. Now higher liquidity here at 14 and seems to be holding. Okay, now we just traded to 12.5, and let's see if we get the break here. Okay, and if we're looking for a break and establish a new range, we're looking for the break and to start to trend into another, like a measured move of this to here. Okay, so I would look for the move down into maybe yeah, somewhere around in here, around this 10 level, 10.5, if we break. All right, we can kind of we'll come back and revisit this here on just a minute, but yeah, here we go to the ups. I mean, this is the range, right? It's establishing this range, and we're looking for volume on one side or the other to break it, and then we get our price discovery. Okay, and we're kind of speculating here at the top edges, and there's high liquidity on both sides in here right now, and we're just kind of bashing back and forth. You can see it very clearly. There's high liquidity in here, there's high liquidity here on the bid, there's high liquidity here on the offer, and we continue to trade into these levels here, and we see it absorbed basically, and price does not break out. Okay, that's high volume there on the sell side. Okay, that's enough. That should be enough to break it. If we can just get a little bit more, and if we don't, think about all of these traders here trapped. Okay, and they're going to be buyers up in here. All right, let's let me zoom back out, and we're going to come back and revisit this. It's just kind of still just going back and forth. Let's start with we can go up on this time frame in here, this range in here, and then here's the break of it, but we see it come back into the middle of the range, and then here's very clearly the break. Okay, lots of sellers. You can see the volume here in the bars and the move. Okay, this is the low volume pullback here. Now it's not that low actually, but it comes back to right here, that area of high liquidity where it transacted at 69.20. Okay, and then we see the back and forth again, and then it breaks, and then it comes back in the range, but now we're trending now. Okay, lower low, lower high, and look at the volume in here. This is another low volume pullback. Okay, more selling here, low volume pullback. Okay, and we're looking for this to continue to target high liquidity on the bid until something else happens. We continue to go with that trend until something else happens. Okay, and yeah, I mean, okay, here you see a lot of buying come back in here, but did it break this structure? No, it didn't. Okay, we see selling coming in again, selling coming in again, and we get another move to the downside. Pretty nice one. All right. Let's see, Samba, RK Samba, what can I explain about volume building up to understand that? Yeah, sure. So in a range, like right, I'm glad we moved on. It's just still in this range in here. And it's built, there's lots of volume building in here, right? Okay, a lot. Now this is going to be our POC at this point. Okay, it has yeah, moved down to this area here. Okay, so anyway, yeah, here we go. Let's see if we get our break now. This is starting to set up pretty nicely. We see some selling coming in, selling here again. We'll get a little bit of a pullback here. Now let's see if we can get more selling at the bottom edge here at 12, and we look for the break. Okay, it's the retest here. Then we have to see it on the retest here. Anyway, there's a couple of different ways to look into this. If you see a really clear setup in here and you're looking for that break, it looks, extremely good, then I think it's valid. You go do your back testing, but you can look for that break in the continuation. But the easier trade is to let it break and let it pull back on low volume, and then look for the continuation. Okay, so does that answer your question, RK? This is volume building up in a pretty tight range. Okay, so it's creating a value area here. There's a break right there. Okay, so we'll see here. Okay, but it just traded up into high liquidity. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, so I would look for now we're going to look for a pullback here. Okay, and I would look for maybe right here where it just broke out from 14.5. Okay, we might miss it on a pullback. We might not get it. We just might get price discovery to continue here. Okay, see how it's starting to, it made a little smaller range in here. And that broke now. Okay, so now let's see if we got our pullback to right around here, 69.15, and look at the book now. Okay, so we see some on the bid here, and they just transacted. Okay, bouncing off the top of this range. Let's see if we get our buyers now. And otherwise, this is a pretty nasty move. It's a pretty nice little false breakout here. But I'm looking for it to be supported until we see something different. Okay, and we have not looked at getting into this at this point on the pullback. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, all right, looking for buyers to trade right back up to the top of the range here, or this liquidity at 15.75. Okay, it's supporting here. This was a very deep pullback right into the point of control. Okay, but I'm looking for buyers to support it and to see if we can get price acceptance above, outside of all this built up range or volume in here. Okay, makes sense, Samba? And let me get over to Discord. Yeah, Shark, great question here. Does the volume necessarily have to be lower? Yes, it does. I mean, we're looking for a direction and an impulse move, a strong move. Otherwise, like, we just don't know. It's pretty critical. Okay, so we're still seeing some buyers here. Now, guys, we never know, right? But this breakout here, and look at the price action in this. Okay, it's not too convincing here about from the buy side that it's really breaking out here. I mean, this looks pretty good here, this move. I don't see that volume consistent though from the buy side up and through this area in here. We get a extremely deep pullback right to the point of control here. Then we start to find buyers again, and then we're getting our move back up to the upside here. So now I'm interested to see on this second leg up here, we got to have buyers here, right? There's got to be buyers up in here. They've got to break this. They have to show they are interested in exploring higher. So they're starting to. Okay, so let's see if we get continuation here. It looks pretty good. What we're looking for is the buyers to take it higher. Okay, so let's see if they can they muster that here. Back up into about 18 liquidity. Maybe 20. Shark, another thing on the low volume pullback in here, I think is really critical, is to understand the depth of the pullback, and also to look for that impulse move like up in here. We're looking for that consistent move here, okay? Because otherwise, like this one right here it's just not very good. Look at it. Do we get a lot of buying up in here? No, right? So that means, like, in fact, this one right now is, we could have a real nice failure. This is actually the pattern for one of the setups we have, the mid-morning reversal. Okay, I think this is going to unfold. Okay, so I'm looking for that now. So let's see here. Look at the selling coming in here. Okay, now bottom of the range though. Okay, so this failed up here. It did exactly this double top here, and we basically, what's happening here, we get leg one, deep pullback, leg two. And then it comes right back into the range in here. Okay, so this did not break out. It failed. Okay, now we might get buyers to come back in, but let's take a look here at. I want to show you the from the Learning Center. If we go to education from bookmap.com, and then we go down to the supply and demand setups, this mid-morning reversal, we put I created this just for you guys, for these webinars, because we just see this all the time in here. We get like this really nice impulse move, then it chops, and then we get something that looks like it's going to reverse here. Okay, like inverse head and shoulders here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, lots of volume. Look at the buy volume in here, relative. This is looking pretty good. And this is around 11 o'clock East Coast, 10:30 to 11 o'clock East Coast time, or 10:30 to 11:30. And then here's our double top in here. See the breakout here? Look at the deep pullback. And then again, a move back up. It's still looking pretty good. Look at the buyers in here. Couldn't do it. And then we see the sellers move it back in. Then this one's pretty nice in here, because we see that there's some buying interest in here. They cannot muster a move even back up to the previous swings in here. Look at the exhaustion in here. Okay, it's not high liquidity. The high liquidity was over in here, okay? And it did transact, but we see exhaustion here. We see a lack of buying. Then we see the sellers come in, and what we basically get is the continuation of that original impulse move. So in essence, it's kind of like a big flag pattern in here, right? Here's our impulse move, and then our impulse move. But it gets very tricky in here, looking for that reversal, and a lot of people get caught off sides on that. And then after that big impulse move, the trend resumes again to the downside. These can be really, really nice moves later after the European close. Oh God, this thing's all over the place. No one knows what's really going on here. It's really back and forth in the price action here. It's trying to break out. You know, we see the sellers. The sellers, note here, I mean, this was set up really nicely right here. Let's just go here, right here. But we didn't even get down here to the bottom edge here of the price action. So again, you wouldn't have gone for it. You know, you wouldn't have been kind of trapped up in here. We're looking for a decisive move. Again, we're just trying to understand the traders in here in the order flow, trying to read it. And Shark, that impulse move in here is really critical. Like you got to see that consistent buying or selling through it. It means that the market's moving away from an area. Okay, that no one's, you know, everyone's pretty sure we're moving away, and that's what we want to see. Okay, and then on the pullback, so you like look at this in here. Okay, this was around 920 or so. Okay, this is our break here of the range, no question. It's a small range, or it's a pretty decent. It's like how many points here? 25 to. It's only 2.5 points, but we get a break of it. We even get kind of a measured move of it, but and the selling looks pretty good in here. Okay, it looks pretty consistent. You know, maybe it lacks a little bit down here, but look at the buying coming right back in. This is not a low volume pullback, right? Okay, we want to see that come back in here with very, very little interest. And then we want to see it kind of exhaust out, or there's maybe high liquidity on the offer in here, absorb that, and then we want to see the sellers come back in. Okay, and we want to see them decisively with big red dots take this back down. All right, then that way we know that sellers are in control of the move now, away from that area. There's no interest in buying, and then buyers cannot take it back up into this area in here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, and then we're looking for a move back down to the bottom of the range. You can take some off there, or look, and then look for the continuation as well, and then we're starting to trend. All right, so now this works on all time frames, and I mean here we talked about it yesterday in the gap trade. I mean basically this is your impulse move, this is your small range, and then again this is your impulse move. And you can even look at on the daily in here. I mean, well, we've got a range here, a range here, and then a beauty break of it up here. Okay, so price exploration to the upside on this daily. Okay, regardless of what we think about the fundamentals, I mean, and as you guys know, that's what we're covering here. We're covering the order flow and the understanding the participants and going with that. Okay, we want to understand what's moving that market. If it doesn't make sense, well, I mean, the price action and the order flow rules. I want to go over another example. God, this thing is still back and forth. Look at that. Yeah, let's just bail on the S&P and I want to jump over the NASDAQ, and I want to show you a better example in here with the low volume pullback. I know we've gone through it many times over years. We've gone through it, but here it is right here. Okay, Look at this move to the upside here. In fact, let's put some stops on this. Go through the stops in just a minute. Okay, so there's a stop run of 21 contracts up here. Okay, that's not so many, but it is the NASDAQ. Okay, so this is an order book sweep, larger player, or a cascading stop run, and we see that the transactions are outside of the best bid and offer, or the best offer in this case. This is due to us being down in millisecond or microsecond levels in here. This is what first happens in the order of events, and there's an order of events also for the aggressors, and we're going to cover that. But the main concept here, first off, let's start with the low volume pullback, and this is what's happening here. Okay, here's our impulse move, no question about that. Okay, and then look at this pullback in here. Okay, look at the volume in here. This is exactly the same thing, and it's exactly the same thing on the higher time frames, the monthly chart, the daily chart, the hourly, the 15-minute, doesn't really matter. It's the same idea and concept. Here is our volume, right? Here is our volume. This is our impulse move. Now, we actually went from here, and the next transaction was here, right here. And this transaction happened after the stop run. There was kind of a dry spell. Okay, this is like a vacuum in here. And what happened was someone bought again after the stop run. And they bought here. So this is where the best offer, the spread narrowed, came back into being. It's still kind of wide here, even for the NASDAQ. It's like 3 ticks wide in here. I mean, usually 2 to 3 ticks is, well, 1 to 2 for sure. Sometimes 3 in the NASDAQ. But look at the spread here. I don't know how many ticks that is, but maybe 12, 15, I don't know. But after that impulse move, the next transactions were down here. This is your low volume pullback. Look at the volume in here compared to the volume here. This is the concept. Okay, so now we're looking for buyers in here to take it back up to here. Right, so that's the pullback, and it has to be on low volume. Right, and we don't want to see selling, much selling, and then we're going to see if buyers are still interested. Whatever it is in here, there was some sort of imbalance or reason why price moved away from an area, and we're looking for it to continue to move, and that is the concepts here on all time frames. Okay, so what happened in here? Yeah, well, that was I don't know if that was news or not, but you can see, I mean, it was just a big sweep of the order book here, and then what happened in here? We're looking for, after this, we're looking for the continuation down here. Well, the pullback continued. Even this is still a low volume pullback in here, down to here. This is the big move. It is defining things at that point, and then we can draw a rectangle across in here. Down here, we found some sellers, but buyers came back in here, and they're going to move it back to where those sellers dropped it here. And if we can get back up in here, we're looking for back to the previous swing, and then we have the potential for the breakout. Okay. Pretty tricky price action even here in the NASDAQ. As you can see, we did break out. We got another stop run up here, and it failed. It broke out, and then we see the sellers take it right back down. So this is pretty choppy action in here right now. Okay, we're going to continue to look for it though. Same idea. And you can even look at this one in here. Okay, here's our move, our big move, right? And look at the volume. Okay, it's pretty consistent all the way down here too. You can draw that across. Okay, so this is actually in essence, even though we see a big spike here, it's only on this candle here, or this move here, and we know there's a big stop run, or pretty decent stop run to the upside here. Is this making sense? Okay, this is a drive away from all of this price action in here. Okay, it drove back in here and accepted for a while, and then it broke and it continued on lower. All right, so let's go to current price action. And I also want to take a look at this S&P. S&P is still just, continues to kind of inch higher here. I mean, this is really, really looking nice here. If we can get our sellers in here right now, now we're looking for our impulse move now from the sell side. I want to see them. I mean, all of this buying in here, trying to look back up to the swing in here. Okay, think about the sellers. If they can start to rattle any of these buyers in here, they're going to have to cover all the way back down to about 69.07 or further. Okay, so that's number 3 on our list. I would look for that scenario now. Okay, it looks pretty good. Okay, so that's here, number 3 on our scenario. Okay, we went through impetus, what's moving the market. We looked at our key levels, and now the scenario we're building out is, okay, buyers came back up to this swing here, have not broken it, and we're seeing sellers down here. Let's see if they can pick it up and then break this range here to continue on down. All right, so let's go back and look at the NASDAQ here. Okay, so NASDAQ is coming down to test this 9 o'clock breakout here. Shark, here's another, just a beauty right here. Okay, low volume pullback right here. This illustrates exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so here's our impulse move away. Price dribbles back down. And it's a deep pullback, no question about it. And then look at the buyers coming in. Okay, and then you guys in the pilot program, you're going to be able to transition very easily from the trendline break and accumulation into this pattern because you see we're looking for a structure break now. We can look for less accumulation passively on this pattern in here now. Okay, that's more of the continuation pattern. And we're looking for now, it's really about more like exhaustion down here and then aggressors coming back into move price. And this is a beauty here to the upside. Okay, so now we've broken this range here on the price action. Okay, and we're getting our retest back up here. And trading at high liquidity here. All right, so any questions on this? I haven't found the best examples we found a great example on the lower time frame, and we have very clear examples on the higher time frame in here as well. Okay, we haven't found something kind of in the kind of the middle here at this point. All right, let's see it then. Let's see if these sellers can do it. Okay, this is our pullback here. Now there's some volume here, but it did trade into high liquidity here, so there's sellers here as well on the offer. So looking for sellers now, and then we're looking for maybe 2600, 26,000 here as the target here. This is not, it's kind of tricky today. These are not decisive moves in a lot of cases. So you know what we if it's not decisive moves, what you'll see is a lot more kind of choppy action. Shark, one of the things as well, I'm not, I don't know, this is actually, I kind of like this example here. So you know, look where we retested here, back to where it dropped from here. I wanted to see the retest back to about here, and that's it. You know, just to here, that would be a stronger, or give us more insight to the move back down to 2600 or 26,000 here. Okay, but we retested all the way back here, and we're seeing even buyers trying to push it back up here as well, and they're doing a pretty good job. This is what I was going to mention. It's really about the some of the factors in the impulse move that are important is clean and clear consistency in the selling through. And this is going to be stop runs in here. I mean, like it's quite choppy. Like anyway, this is what I mean in here, and this is what I think it's important to be kind of careful with. If you don't see it move away from it distinctively, then look at most of the volume is right in here, right? And these two big bars and volume dots. Okay, so that means most of the selling is down here. Look at the retest back here. Okay, so this is trapped selling below the bottom of the range in here. Okay, and now they're you know, just getting hit to the upside here and stopped out. So we want to see that consistent move away. Now suppose, for example, let's see here. Let's suppose we got this big move away here. That this move started here, but it started down. It started up at the top of the range here. What if it started down here and moved away? And so we'd be looking for this kind of move, right? Let me draw it up better than that. Okay, so we'd be looking for the big move would be something like this. Okay. Then now we know that the sellers have moved it away. Okay, that's when we're looking for the pullback in here somewhere. And then what we're looking for is that low volume on the pullback here. And then we're looking for, you know, there'll probably be some little micro reversal pattern in here. I mean, there always is. Then we're looking for sellers to come back in. Okay, and that is the next impulse move. Let's see here. See if there's any questions. No. Okay. We're good over in YouTube and nothing over here. In Discord. Okay. Duzman, you asked a question here. How long? Oh, you went long looking at volume 956. Okay, let's go back and take a look at this in here. 956 in the S&P. So you were going long just right around in here. Is that right? No, you said 15. So 15 and a half up in here. There was big buy delta. Would I say using that location as a reference was good? Well, something looks really kind of odd in this price action in here. I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't know if there's kind of someone speaking right now, if there's some sort of geopolitical stuff going on right now, or at this time in here, because like look at the pull of liquidity on up here, right? You can see that very distinct line right here. There's liquidity to the left and there's a lack of it to the right. Okay, so and we know that both the S&P and the NASDAQ jumped at that time. So I don't really know what that was, but let's see, you went long around 921. Exited for a small loss. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look. So somewhere in here, you went long. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, let's take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at the price action up in here, right? So this is nice move here. This is what I mean by it starting to kind of wane a little bit. See the volume up in here. Here's the retest up in here as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting too much clarity out of it, but you know, it's looking like yeah, it's a hard one to say. I do not like this. Does not look good to me in here. Okay, it's going higher, but on very little volume, and you see the buyers give it one more shot here, and then you see sellers down below it here. A lot of times, what you get on these kinds of moves, Duzman, is they can turn into reversals if you know, you start to see some well, as you know, the trend line break and accumulation, lots of accumulation on the offer passively up here, and then you're looking for the break here, and then you're looking for it to start to trend and continue the other way. This is so much volume. Yeah, I'm with you on that. You know, I'd be looking for, you know, a retest back up into here with the momentum, maybe up into here. You can see that failed as well. Now, there's some reasons for it, or you can take a look at it here, and you know, you'd want to take your profits pretty quickly on something like this, because we got the 930 cash open right here in front of it. We don't know what's going to happen then. Okay, so that's something to be very careful with. I actually like this time right before. You can get some really good fills, and you can look for price to kind of drive in certain directions, but look out at 930. Okay, everything changes at that point. Yeah, and these are highs here. So, we had a gap yesterday. The big move to the upside. It gapped up here today. This is that gap, and then we see the 930 open in here. We see buyers come back in, buyers again, but we see sellers take it right back down to the bottom of the range. Boy, I'm not really seeing too much clarity in a lot of it in here. I like some of this selling in here, but it's back and forth. I mean, they're fighting it here. This is where I'm talking about, like, the sellers are really coming in, and then you can see that it just drives right up above that area in here, and that kind of brings us to where we are right now. After this drive to the bottom, the move back up. Here, this is looking even better now. I think we see some buying in here, but look at the exhaustion and look at selling in here. Okay, now they might be trapped, right? And if they do, then we'll look for the continuation move to the upside. Okay, and if they don't, and we see lots of selling come in here and just about here, now we need to see them really start to pick it up. We look for the move back down to the bottom of the range here. Yeah, that's another thing, John. I know it's earnings season, and all of the Mag 7 stocks here are posting soon. So there's going to be a lot of choppy action. Absolutely. Who have reported so far are some big names, but they're not the tech names, and we know that's what's driving the market. That's again goes back to number one. What's the impetus, right? We also have the like I said, the FOMC is just going to be huge, and that's tomorrow. So a lot of speculation. I mean, you'll have to decide, like, based on the impetus and the price action around these key levels, if your scenarios you're developing here, is it worth it to take a shot at it? I mean, look at this in here. Okay, so even this is a low volume pullback right here. Okay, break, pullback, and then we're looking for the next move down. Okay, you guys can like scalp this all day long, right? And so we're looking for the move into high liquidity here, and let's see if enough sellers take it and they can trade down to 10 now. And Trump meeting with Xi on Thursday. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and it's not so clear. I mean, it's been bullish, but about some of the tariffs and trade deals. That's been good. We know that can change in a heartbeat. Okay, even this is a low volume pullback here. Okay, but you got to wait though on this one, because buyers can get back up above it right here, and then move it back up into the range here. So we got to see sellers come in. We got to look for that exhaustion, look for that selling, and we're looking for those big sell dots here. Okay, and then we're looking for that move into 10. Okay, see how that there's buyers back up above it. So it's off right now. And we don't know. This is one way to keep out of it. This is here we can answer the question, is this a low volume pullback? No, it's not. Okay, but this was one on a very small time frame, and we're looking for this one here to work out as well, and it just didn't. We didn't get the sellers we were looking for down here. Okay, around this 12 and a quarter. Okay, and now we're going to get the squeeze to the upside. Okay, back up into the range. Maybe even, enough back up into 19 or so. All right, let's jump over to the NASDAQ again. Back on the NASDAQ, we just get so much, it happens so much quicker, and these moves and these follow-throughs. Maybe look at the Trader Map Pro version. Does that help? A little bit. Okay, I'd look for NASDAQ to trade right up to this 2650 now. 26050. Okay, great. All right, back up to this swing here. Okay, looking pretty good actually on the NASDAQ for a bigger move here. Here's our reversal pattern, and let's see if we can get this actually. So let's look for a low volume pullback here, and then buyers to come in again, and then reach 60 up here. We are just testing. We're not outside of this range here yet. Okay. But we just traded into high liquidity there, at 26,050. And here we go. Okay, buyers. All right. Let's see that continuation move, and let's see it move up. Now we're starting to we're just testing that level here. Okay, we're starting to move up. Now we're going to get buyers above that swing here. That's what we got to see. See how it gets tricky here. It's the swing in here that we're really looking at. In fact, we can draw the swing across two levels here. Right, and we got to get the move away from it. This is what Shark, I think I was just talking about how, yeah, we can look for a move up into it here, okay, but it's got to move outside of the bigger range here. Okay, look at how good this looks for it to trade up into 60 here, and it just can't get outside of that bigger range though. So be careful with these things. Make sure it's outside of the range. That price is already moving outside of your range on an impulse move. Okay? And again, using all the terminology and defining it as impulse move or market auction market theory or whatever it might be, the main concepts are prices in a range, it breaks out of a range, and you get price discovery. And then we're looking for maybe a break in that, just a kind of a lull in that, and then continuation. Okay, now this here is where it gets tricky is, oh yeah, it looks like it's going to the moon up in here. You got a reversal pattern, you got your inverse head and shoulders, you got everything going here, right? And you see a smaller level here, okay, this level, which breaks, and it breaks on volume. Okay, great. Yeah, we should be hitting up here to 60, and we're going to be trending back up to highs of the day. And that's where you got to be really careful, because we need to see the break above this range up here. This is the key level. and we trade into high liquidity there at 50 as well. And then get one more move here and just couldn't get above it. Yeah, James, not much of a VWAP trader. We've got a lot of traders who are, and I prefer looking at the price action and the standard deviations. I really, like I said, if I'm not a VWAP trader, then the standard deviations I don't really care about at all. So I don't know. I mean, we've got other traders who are and use it. I mean, I do like very much that the see this is a cleaner break of this level here, and let's see if we can get a move back up to the top of the range here. Now this is and that's it. Like that would be your target here, would be the top of this range here. Okay, this would be a beautiful little continuation pattern in here. This is one of the better ones we've seen so far, and we're just looking for it. Well, there's a swing here, but yeah, I'd go with the 51 or 52 up here, basically. Okay, this is the range here. This is the breakout away from that range. This is the low volume pullback right here. Thank God I got a better example for you guys here on this small time frame. Okay, and we'd be looking for, that's the continuation pattern. It just did it. Hit your single, take your profit up here, and build some confidence in it. Okay, because it's kind of what we were just talking about over here. It's exactly the same thing. Is the breakout of this range or this smaller range here, but we're still in a bigger range. Okay, so again, we broke out of this smaller range here, but we haven't broke out of the bigger one. So, but we can look for the move up to that. Okay, Joe. Yeah, I can put the VWAP or anchored VWAP on here if you like, James. But like I said, I really like looking at understanding the price action and the volume in here. Okay, so now look at this starting to break. Let's see a low volume pullback here, and now 2660, 26,060. Okay, let's see. Do we get more volume up in here? We did get a low volume pullback. Okay, do we see that buying starting to mount again above our level here, above our level of 52? Nope, you didn't get it. Okay, all right, they're coming back here on another swing. Okay, let's see it build right now, right here, and it looks like we can get enough buying interest here. Let's see. No, we're getting sellers. We need buyers. Shark, this is another one. I'm kind of leery on this one too. It may work out, but look at the volume here above the level in here. And what about that consistency through here? It's not that great, right? Look at the bars. Okay. All right. Now here we come back. Now looking pretty good. All right. Let's see it, buyers. We should get enough buyers up here at this point to come up into 56 or 60. 56 is the swing, but I think there's enough momentum in here. Okay, anyway, that's the scenario I'm looking for. All right, let's see it on this swing here. And let's see the move. Still struggling. All right, back up again. Guys, this is kind of that cup and handle we talked about the other day where, you know, we start to build and it auctions off. We get consensus up here. This is not good right here. This is not good at 52 and a half or 52 right here. There's some exhaustion. There's no buying here. Don't like that at all. So we can start to trend to the downside here. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, yeah, again, tricky. I mean, the other day we saw these work out like time again, time over time. But it's it's asking a little much maybe because the move outside of that range was only a few points for the Nasdaq, and then it failed to go outside of that range. Up in here, it still looked pretty good to me. We just didn't get those buyers where we needed them, right? We got some up in here. This is where I thought it would get the break. And then we got sellers, and then we got exhaustion in here, and selling down below is not looking good. So these are a lot of failed, broken patterns. Yeah, we can name it low volume pullback today. It's I think what we'll need to do, Shark, is just I need to well, just like in the pilot program, I need to get more good examples together for you guys, just like we did with the trendline break accumulation. Because there's been a lot of failures in here today. It's been pretty tricky. We're looking for continuations, and you know, it just kind of comes down to some of these swings, breaks them, and comes back in, and kind of hard to you know, look for follow through on some of these here. They're just not following through. Look, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, I think a couple of things. Number one, that trend line break and accumulation setup will work really well and for you guys because how we started with that one because you'll understand the passive accumulation, and that's really key. Okay, that's something that Bookmap is excellent at. So you can look at that passive accumulation, and we have that at our back. And I've mentioned that many times. It's really important because if you know, like you're taking a trade and you've got tons of passive accumulation behind you, and you see aggressors coming in, you've got a lot of buyers behind you. And that's when we're looking for that continuation move. Even on the low volume pullback, it's a break of a range, right? And then we're looking for a low volume pullback. So it would be great if, for example, this one's not it's not a good example, but you know, if we had, you know, tons of passive accumulation in these areas here, right? Then we got the break, right, of that either diagonal or the horizontal here, and we get that break on that high volume in here. These are really good. That's when we've got a really good setup, and that's why we go through those 4 elements in here. So even if you take this and hit a single on the trend line break and accumulation, now you're set up with the next setup very, very well. And the next setup is the low volume pullback. Now this isn't really a good example. It's pretty high volume, and there's still more buyers than sellers, and this is good that there's this distinction and the move away from this area here. Okay, now we don't have all the pieces, but it did work out. You know, this moved up, it came all the way back down here, bounced off the top of this range in here, and basically meaning that this price action or this little value area in here is rejected now here. Okay, it did not come back into an accept. It rejected and it came back up, and you look for it to come back up into this one or potentially up into high of the bigger range here. Okay, and it eventually did. Is that making sense? I mean, it's all in here. Okay, now if we had that at our back, shark, like in here, we've got something pretty good. That low volume pullback, it probably wouldn't have pulled back as much like this, because this is what happens when we don't have all that accumulation passively. You get these erratic moves bashing back and forth. Okay, thank you, Laura. Makes sense. Is there anything that you are less clear about, Laura, that you want me to explain? Maybe that's a better question. Like these nuances in here, and this is one of them right here. This is a pretty steep pullback, but it did not come back into this previous range in here. It rejected, and we got to move out. Now, for a lot of you profile traders, you know, you'd be looking at your TWAP, you'd be looking at your VWAP, you'd also look at your measured moves away from these areas. So we can look at, like, when we saw some examples earlier, how the wasn't a clear setup. We're looking for the scenario to unfold, but we noted that, you know, it wasn't a really big break away from an area, and those are just more likely to fail. All we're trying to do is align ourselves with the majority of the traders and they're starting to point in a direction, and we're jumping on the train at that point. Okay, like here's a break. Now, how good is this? Okay, now it may work out just great here. Now we have some high, here we go, right? We have some high liquidity here. Okay, we're at the bottom of the range here. We can see the break here, right? And we really want to see the break of this range though here. Okay, and you can see we didn't. It's already failed. It's already come back in. Okay, and we traded into high liquidity up in here now too. So we don't have a lot at our back for looking for that continuation here to up to here. Now it might play out. Okay, just might be enough aggressive buyers. This is something we don't know. We look for it, and it's actually looking pretty good, right? You know, it looks like buyers want to take it back up to 60 here. Okay, we just don't have all the pieces here. It did not break out distinctively. It came back all the way back into the range in here, and then look how much it broke out here. Okay, only by a few points or ticks or so. Okay, this is the kind of nuances I'm talking about. Laura and Shark and others. Duzman. Hey, you guys in the program, pilot program. Let's see here. Question, you don't know if you looked at YouTube chat. Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, we saw that. We saw that it filled the gap, basically. I did not look at the NASDAQ on the higher time frame, but every buyer's waiting at 26,000. Yeah. Well, you can go back and confirm that. Is every buyer waiting for 26,000? No, they're not. I mean, I don't see them. They're right in here. They're actually below it here. Okay, around 92. Well, there's some down at 92, or more down here at 92, and then some down below. Now there's a bit here at 26,000, but that's it. There's a lot up here at 26,060. Okay, those are sellers up here. Okay, so all right, so I think this turned out to actually be a good example. See how great this looks here? It looks like it's going to do it, but we looked at over here in the range and what's happening, and we don't have a lot at our back here. It's all about the aggressor at this point, and the aggressors take it to the upside, they take it to the downside, they take it back up to the upside, and they take it back down again. Okay, and now we're back into the range. Now, what we do have, and we talked about this yesterday, is these guys up in here. If this is new buying up in here, look out. They will be new selling down here. Well, it'll be selling down here, but they'll be exiting as sellers. It's not new selling, actually. And that's how you get these stop runs and swings back and forth between ranges like this. Okay? So if a lot of times if you don't see that accumulation and the move does not look decisive, you can actually look for these moves to fail outside of the ranges and come back into the range. It's not my style of trading, but we've seen it many times. So look at the weakness here. Right here, exhaustion and selling. Okay, sellers should be able to take it down. Should be able to take it down at least down into, like this kind of 32 liquidity, 33 liquidity. I would say down here to 30, and they can't. They can't. They're in the squeeze right now. Yeah, but this was looking great in here, right up to there. All right. No buying, no buying, very little buying, more selling in here, more selling at lower lows in here in this little trend in here. Okay, just looking for it to press to the bottom of the range and then also potentially break it here. Is the ES breaking down? Let's take a look. Yeah, I kind of like it. Again, it's kind of same ideas we just talked about, but look at the offer up in here, and look at the buying in here too. More buying, but can't get up to the swing. More buying or more selling at these lows in here, can't get up to the swing. Okay, this is where we really need to see it though. Those sellers come in. Okay, from the price action we've been seeing today, likely what we'll get is a move, uh, a trap here, and buyers come in and move back up into 15 or 18 or 19 up here. And that's been what we've been seeing today. And we didn't get any follow through on these moves, or not much. Anyway, guys, like I think the goal here in the end is if we have really good, clean, clear examples of our setups and what we're looking for, then it's pretty easy to execute. If you really don't see those good setups, just watch the price action or trade really small, or don't, or don't trade at all, and just get a feel for what's going on in the market. Okay, and just learn from it. Learn from, I mean, this is what, I don't know. I find it helpful when the more and more you become an expert in what you're looking for, the more and more you go, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I see this, I see that. But we're looking for, a really, really nice follow through, or we're not. And in this case in here, this is again the same example we've been looking at. It's looking pretty good for a move down. Okay, but we'll see now this can fail really nicely and buyers can come right back up and trade back up into like 14, 15 on up to 19. Okay, and we're still kind of, it's quite choppy here. This is a swing here, obviously a swing here, and then we've got somewhere down here, low of the cash session down here. Okay, well, it looks like sellers are going to try to take it down here to the low of the day here. Okay, well, let's see if we get it then. Okay, pull back. There's high liquidity here at 10. Do they stay in the book? And do we get another? Is it a low volume pullback? Let's take a look here. Don't know yet. So far, so good. It's also it's much more of a stop run, as we can see here, the red line. Okay, so that negates it. It's not a low volume pullback. All right, let's take a look at this in here. Let's talk about the nuance in here. This is how heavy a volume is this, and how big of a move is it? It's not that great. Guys, like another thing, like we were talking about this in the our last Bookmap Academy meeting. We're talking about as you're building an edge in the pilot program, you're building experience. It's a quantifiable edge. It's not like you are looking at your data. Okay, you have quantifiable data. That's why we use the web journal to capture it, and that's great. Okay, but you're also building experience, and you're not, you're starting to understand the price action in the setups really well. You've seen now this happen many times over, and that experience is priceless. Right, so starting to understand breaks of ranges on on heavy volume, or days like today where we see it kind of breaks and then it fails. It gets we get these really kind of choppy. I mean, this is quite choppy. Look at that. Right, it's looking pretty good, like as a reversal, especially like right in here, and then we get that one drop here. But I don't like it. And it's not that convincing. I'm actually seeing the bigger volume bars on the buy side here. Okay, so let's actually Let's see if we can get it now. And we do see some selling in here. We did not get buyers coming back up very high here. Okay, now this selling is a little bit better, and we are below that buying here. Okay, so now let's see if we can get sellers right here at 09.25, and let's see if they can press into lows of the day here. Okay, now again, I don't like it. It's not the best at all, but that's the scenario I'm looking for here. Okay, so let's see, Laura, you said you're not really into the low volume pullback topic yet. That's fine. That's great. What you will like about that, Laura, is how that will the trend line break and accumulation will transition over into the low volume pullback for the continuation trade. You're going to love that because you're going to look for the same thing. It's just going to be a little different, and then that's when you'll be able to take a single, still be in the trade, or take some off, still be in the trade, add back into the trade, take some off again, add back into the trade, and take some off again. Okay, and reduce risk along the way. Yeah, I need to put the a more clear checklist together for some of that low volume pullback. But it really is about understanding the decisive moves away, and then not much on a pullback, and then looking for another decisive move. Okay, so like right here, do we get sellers down here now? I mean, I would look for it. This is the scenario I would look for. I'm not really convinced by it though. All right, and I'd look for the target to be this 07 here. Yeah, 07 is good. I like it. I like 07. Anyway, building that experience, yeah, way too choppy for your liking, Matt. But building that experience though is when you'll be able to look at it and go, I don't like it. It's choppy. Yeah, okay. There's this and that, and it might work out. But you're just gonna watch, and you're gonna wait for a better setup. I mean, this is starting to trend now outside of that range. Okay, but it's still within a bigger range. So that's why we're just looking for 07. All right, guys, let's see here. Let's wrap it up. Went through a bunch of different things, talking about mostly talking about these nuances in here, and looking for basically qualifying for an A+ setup in here. That's what we're looking for, and trying to quantify it in a better way. And a lot of that quantification is going to unfold due to experience, right? Seeing many instances, trading many instances of it in the pilot program, for example. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, you're welcome, Shark. Yeah, I wish we had better examples for you. I mean, as you guys can see, this one worked out, and it was choppy, but it did it, right? And we were up in here. We're kind of like, yeah, that's not a low volume pullback, once we can get below though, you guys understand this. Once we get below that buying in here on some selling here, for example. Okay, now the sellers can take it down, and we can get the move. And we are outside of the range in here, and we did not come back into the range. Okay, that was interesting. It's a very small move here, but we did not come back into the range. Okay, right here. Anyway, okay, now we're getting our flush through. This can be a big stop run there, and there we go. And we were just looking for 07 here. Okay, we made it down to 03. Anyway, guys, we'll dive more into the low volume pullback soon. It is going to transition extremely well from that trend line break and accumulation. That setup, once we start to understand those elements in there, the next step is going to be good. All right. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody. And we will catch up, let's see, not until Friday, okay, except for the Bookmap Academy meeting on Thursday. Yeah, take care, everyone, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.